talk about their campaigns. And tonight I'm joined by House Speaker Kirk, a Republican running for re-election to House District 66, where he served for 30 years. The district includes much of Chesterfield as well as Colonial Heights and a small sliver of Richmond. I think I got that part right, just kind of almost Bon Air. But so, Speaker, thank you for coming in.
Well, thanks for having me. Great opportunity.
All right. Well, so tell me, what is this election about?
I think it's results for the hardworking people in my district. Recently we just got named the #1 state to do business by CNBC, and I'd have to say that's largely a result of Republican policies. They mentioned things like right to work, and I'm going to do a little quick contrast. The Democrats, I feel like, who put bills in to repeal right to work, and I think have gone much more of the national sort of socialist liberal model. I think Virginia would dramatically change. So that's the contrast. If I could,
but it's been under a Democratic governor, though, right? Terry McAuliffe before.
I think I would tell you, I think the constant the last few years has been the Republican legislature. And I'll give you a quick example of my three, I think, key issues. Let's start with taxes. So if we go along with the Democratic governor, Ralph Northam, he would have increased taxes by about $1 billion. Instead, my constituents are going to get a rebate in October. That's Republican policies.
And and the businesses are telling you that that's what's bringing outside companies to come in and invest in here, and obviously CNBC is concluding that as well.
I would say that too, and once again, a statistic the Virginia Chamber of Commerce said there are $17.8 billion worth of bad business bills, almost all Democrat. They got 7 Fs on the report card. So I think the business piece is clearly Republican.
Well, and interestingly, your district has changed a lot this time around. When the U.S. Supreme Court did not take up the Republicans' appeal of their rejected redistricting maps, all of a sudden you're in a majority Democratic district. Has that changed how you campaign or how you interact with your constituents?
It was closer to probably a swing district, but having said that, as you said, I've been there 30 years.
Right.
And I've had different parts of Chesterfield. I actually had part of this district before. So sure, it's a challenge. I sort of like challenges. I do a lot of door-to-door. I did 1,200 doors in June, so I like that.
That's shoe leather politics.
And is a good message. As a 30-year teacher, one of the things I've really hit is obviously the 5% pay raise. I've called for raising teachers' pay to the national average, and those type of issues I think cross over very well, et cetera.
Where would that money come from? Because it's obviously everybody. It's great. Support the teachers, get our schools back up. You have to cut somewhere, right?
Sure. As a matter of fact, this year. We'd reduce spending by about $111 million. Quick example, about $10 million from DMAS for just administration of Medicaid. So we're very careful about going through there. And I'll point out we have $1.45 billion in reserve, cash reserves and rainy day fund that we have put away the last few years. And so if there is a recession, we'll have the money to do that teacher pay raise. So it's a great question. We've done away with non-state agencies, all of the earmarks. And so we've done a good job of making sure that we do spending cuts also.
Well, and Democrats had said they hope to get some gun safety bills passed during the special session, which was cut short by Republicans. Do you sense now, especially now that we've learned that the NRA yesterday made a $200,000 contribution to the Republican leadership, does that mean that those kinds of bills have no chance this time around?
Well, Planned Parenthood, I'll remind everybody, gave probably in the last cycle over $2 million to the Democrats who had the third trimester abortion bill on. But to your point.
But I mean, it was kind of a surprise when after 90 minutes the special session was gavelled out, and people then said, yesterday, oh, the NRA, is that a quid pro quo? Democrats claiming that it was.
As a matter of fact, it's a misnomer. We're in special session. It's a total misnomer. We're not in special session. What we did, which I've really tried to emphasize to people, remember, I'm the one that had the Select Committee on School Safety. We worked very hard, 24 recommendations. So I'm really concerned about gun violence. It's not that.
And you're a school teacher.
I'm a school teacher. But what we did was, remember, we basically said the Crime Commission, which we think is very prepared, has bipartisan makeup, and has professors. Let's look at all the bills. What the Democrats won't tell you is they don't want to discuss mental health. As a matter of fact, they didn't even want that in the procedural resolution. And so they don't want to discuss other issues, for example, that deal with criminal activity. I'll give you a quick example. In Boston, they had a really unique program where program where they targeted really tough neighborhoods and then cleaned those up and then offered, frankly, whether it be gang members, et cetera, help with GEDs, et cetera. They reduced their homicide rate by 63% among juveniles. So Democrats only want to talk about that. We think it needs to be comprehensive. The Crime Commission said hearings. We're going to come back and look at every one of these bills.
And the Crime
whether they be
Commission will
written,
come up with some of the recommendations.
and we'll look at those. And so it's total misnomer to say the special session is over. That is not true. That's their talking points.
All right, well, 5 minutes has flown by. I apologize for being so quick, but House Speaker Kirk Cox coming in tonight. Thank you so much for coming in.
I really appreciate the opportunity. Thanks.
And the Speaker is a candidate in the 66th House District, running for re-election. And of course, we've invited all the candidates on here, CBS 6 News at 7. And once we do those interviews, they all go on WTVR.com.